What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today in the world of indie games. We're checking out Signal Simulator, a game that's kind of like you work at SETI. It's another one of those like day at work type simulators where you've got to like fiddle with a bunch of knobs and things like that. But actually, I think this game has a very appealing concept. I played it for 3 or 4 hours last night, just sort of in a daze, and it was weird how the time just flew by. Basically, you search for signs of extraterrestrial life in space, and when you find it, you get little clues and little storyline bits. I think you're going to like the game a lot, so let's start off. So here we are. We're inside of our little office station building in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea where this game is set. Looking at the landscape outside, I'm assuming somewhere in the Midwest. It's very flat. There's some mesas around. At first, I was kind of leaning towards New Mexico or Arizona, but like snow in New Mexico or Arizona might be kind of hard to come by unless you're out by like the White Mountains, kind of like on the eastern border of like Arizona, New Mexico. I'm not really sure. I'm not entirely sure. Given the temperature, it's like minus 20 degrees Celsius sometimes, and so it's pretty like cold out here. It's possible that we might not even be in the U.S. though. I don't know. It's possible. We have ourselves a server room over here where we can do all kinds of Hacker Man stuff. We can be like, yeah, Hacker Mans. But, like, that's not what we're going to do out here right now. We've also got our workstation. This is where the majority of the game is going to take place. In fact, you don't really need to get up from your chair aside to do from little maintenance things with the dishes. And also, we've got some solar panels that power everything. It's got us on a tutorial right now. I'm going to do my best to explain things to you as we go through the game because it is a complicated game. It takes some getting used to, and there's some things that are not explained. But really, the first thing that you want to do is we need to find a signal in space. Right now, we have no data coming through. We're not detecting anything. The servers are up and running perfectly fine. All of these readouts actually do have a point. You should pay attention to these. These actually matter. And like filtering through and figuring out what the right thing is and what the wrong thing is a big part of the core gameplay. Like what's going wrong and what's going right is something that like you're going to have to learn to diagnose rapidly. It looks like the sun is coming up right now, so the solar panel should be online very shortly. We have 100% system efficiency. That means that we can scan for signals basically unimpeded. Let's jump onto the laptop and we're going to see if we can find a signal out here in space. Scammy things. There we go. I don't know if that's a signal or if it's going to be an anomaly, but we'll give it a look. Alright, we're analyzing. Hopefully it'll turn out to be something good. We're going to find some aliens, everybody. We're going to find all the aliens in the universe. They will not be... Oh, we got a signal on our first try. Sometimes it takes you 6 or 7 tries. So it looks like the signal that we are receiving... actually, we gotta find the... So after you find a signal, what you need to do is you need to find the frequency of the signal. Sometimes it'll give you auto scan, and you can just smack that, and it'll find the signal for you. But this time around, we're gonna have to scan for it personally. So basically, we just go through until the frequency locked light becomes green. Once that turns green, that means we're on to you, aliens. We've got a hard missile lock. There it is right there at 4,300 megahertz. At 4,300 megahertz, you'll hear some clicking now. I'm actually going to turn that off because that noise annoys me. But anyways, it'll give us an azimuth readout, and it'll give us an elevation readout for the signal. Now, you've kind of got to, like, suss this out. Like, you've got to go through, and you've got to do a little bit of scanning in order to make this work. And it is going to be time-consuming. It is going to take a while because we have no upgrades right now, and it takes a minute. So we are at 80 degrees right now. Oh, good Lord. And it's at like 350. It's going to take like 5 minutes to rotate the dishes. All right, so what we want to do is, my opinion, the best way to do this is to find the minimum. So we have a minimum right now of 331 azimuth. All right, so that's a rotational vector right there. So we're going to go all the way up to 331. That's still our minimum, so that's a really good sign that that's the lowest number that we've pulled so far, and it hasn't changed on us. Sometimes you get signals that are like all over the place, and they'll be like 331, 360, 280. That situation means that it's going to be a pain in the ass to get that signal out of the noise. And then our elevation for the dish right now is 16 degrees as the minimum. I find it easiest to go to the minimums for both. And once you find the minimums, you kind of just scan upwards from there until you see a signal variance on your readout right here, and then it should be okay. But we're going to start the rotation right there. The rotation is off. Oh, they want me to do 350. Oh, it's actually giving me the solution right now. Oh, that's good. Okay, I forgot that the tutorial gives you the solution. So we got 350.8. Go ahead and lock that in. And then our elevation is going to be 20.3. Nice. Thank God for tutorials. Either way, though, you can see how fast the dish is rotating right there. Yes, it's actually rotating at that speed. It's going to be about 3 to 4 minutes before we actually get this thing rotated and then tilted to where it needs to be. So anyways, we'll give it a second until it gets there. This is not a rapid-fire game. This is not one of those games that's going to give you instant satisfaction. This is a game that actually it plays very well if you've got like Spotify on your other monitor playing or behind the window, or you've got like Netflix playing or something else like that, although you do lose some of the atmosphere. Like, this game does get very, very creepy as you get further into it. Like, you're just this lone guy out in the middle of nowhere and you start finding signals of extraterrestrial life. It gets a little weird. Trust me, this game, like, if I was by myself at a station finding some of this stuff, I would freak the hell out. Alright, so we're coming up on our azimuth right now. What we want to do is, it's usually smart to watch this signal right here, and watch this number. There it goes right there. You see how it went up, then it went back down? That's because we were right on top of it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop, 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 stop. You're going the wrong way, man. You're going the wrong way. Let's go back. Alright, so we're at 350.8 right now. Our signal strength is not super good, but we can kind of fine-tune this. If you saw how it didn't jump by 0.1 right there, that's because we've actually got like an oscillation offset on one of the dishes that we need to fix. It happens from time to time. We're at 68%. Is that good enough to download? It's not. Rotate it in a little bit more. I didn't see what happened right there. Go down by 2. Okay, so we'll go down by 0.2. We're going to get this locked in. Hey, we've actually got enough to get a data signal right now. So you got to be above 80%. And as with all things in this game, it's a very slow process. We only download at like 4 megabits per second. So it's going to take us a while to download a 1 gig almost file. It's close, but it's going to take us a little bit. Once this downloads, you can actually hear the signal right here. Look. That's the signal. It appears to be coming from a star, a yellow star, a star class F. I don't know what that means, but the signal type is a radio burst, a fast radio burst. Apparently, we've found space whales. That's all that I can tell. We've got about 150 done right here, and once we get this done, it'll be cataloged, and it'll be put inside of our downloads, and we'll get paid some money for it. And once we get paid money for it, we can buy a couple of different things. We can buy fuel for the generator, we can buy electronics for tracking signals faster, we can get transmitters over here, which allows us to send things back and actually open up a dialogue with the aliens. We can do data analysis right here. If we have data analysis, that means that we can convert some of our data logs into alien technology. And then we've also got chargers over here that allow us to supercharge the system if we need to. Basically, nitrous for computers. We also have upgrades. We can change how fast we can actually rotate the azimuth on our dishes. We can change the elevation faster. We can detect things better. That's probably a good thing too if you don't like fine-tuning like in tenths of a degree. We've got tracking right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. That shit's going crazy. Freaky, man. Super freaky. The sun's up though, and it's a clear day, which is really, really nice. That's super rad. That means that our charge speed should be pretty good, especially now that we're not even rotating the dishes. And so what you want to pay attention to is charge efficiency and system efficiency. Charge efficiency is how well these solar panels are actually charging up right now. We can actually make that better. The panels need to be cleaned. And so while that's downloading right there, we can actually go outside and I can show you how that maintenance is done real fast, although it's probably going to expect me to do it for the tutorial. So anyways, there's a couple of notable things like you want to be aware of outside. We've got our signal dishes right there. We've got the generator on this side. It looks like it's made out of rust. That thing needs a real application of WD-40. I don't think we can do anything like over here with this. There's no panels or anything that can be interacted with. Also, inside the dome, I don't think we can do anything with this as well, although it does have a cable that runs over to the main building. But in my 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, I've never used this building right here, so I don't think it actually does anything for us. I think we can just leave it alone. This right here, the generator, you want to kick that on if you have a snowy day or if you have a day where there's overcast. It'll actually supplement the charge and make it so that you don't lose too much system efficiency. If you lose too much system efficiency, you can't do your job properly, and it just becomes like a mess. The solar panels that we're worried about are over here. We can hop inside of our little electric golf cart here. And actually, I can just drift this on in on this side. We'll hop on out. And as you can see, the solar panels over here, they've got snow all over them. This one's clean, but these ones have snow. So what you want to do is actually, we can buy more panels later on in case you were wondering. You can actually upgrade and buy more panels. We can go into here, and we can go with the auto cleaning system. And what you'll see is it'll take a squeegee, and it'll just clean those up for us. And that's it. That's all that we need to do. That's pretty much it. So if you ever see that your charge efficiency is really, really bad right now, it's not aliens messing with it. It's actually just the panels need to be cleaned. That big rock in the middle of our little area, I haven't really figured out why it's there, but it's the only rock that's in the area, so I assume it's going to become relevant later on. I can't prove anything with that, but as you can tell, we are absolutely in the middle of nowhere. Like, we're definitely in the desert somewhere. This kind of reminds me of, like, Nevada, kind of like Southeast California. We got paid 71 credits for the thing that we decoded. And so it'll sit over here, and it's translating the binary right now. So there's our signal. I don't know if anybody has a binary hash that they want to, like, plug that into, but go for it. And then you get... Oh, really? We got some module schematics. Interesting. It decodes into something. At first I thought it was hexadecimal, but I don't think it is. Because hexadecimal only goes up to like, what, H? Or like I or something like that. You get numbers and letters up to H and I or somewhere in that region. And so there's like Z's and stuff in there. I don't know. Once that's done, we can actually go in and we can take a look at our database for signals. It'll be saved. It's not really like a storyline signal or an event signal, so it's not going to be that important. However, what we can do with the money that we just pulled out is we can go to tech and we can get data analysis over here. We've got 10 of those. And then we can go to the terminal. And let me make sure that the servers are running well. Everything's going okay with the servers. So what we can do on the servers is we can actually go in and we can say signal analyze. And it says that no module schematics were found. Bummer. Okay, we're going to exit from there. My charge efficiency has dropped to 50%. So it actually, I figured the tutorial was going to do that to me. So what we got to do is we got to go clean the solar panels again. I did it a little bit early. I love how everything has like a little alien, like, you know, Scully and Mulder style I believe on it. Let's go ahead and clean this real fast. After this, all of our servers are going to crash, and it's going to teach us how to fix that. But it's actually pretty easy to fix, honestly. It's easy to assign more value to these servers than they actually provide. So there you go. We'll clean that off. And so the cleaning system is done. Alright, and so the solar panels are efficient on sunny days. If it's rainy, it drops by 30%. If you have resources, you can compensate by turning on the generator. I honestly don't really use the generator that much. I got an admission to make. I don't use the Jenny that much. I've used it a little bit, but it goes through fuel like really rapidly. So, you know, just be aware that you're going to burn through fuel pretty damn fast with that generator. You can buy fuel right here. That used up all of our money. I could turn it on for a minute just to show. I think it wants me to, so we'll go turn it on for just a second so that you can see how that works, and it'll give us some extra charge efficiency for days where it's cloudy or overcast or anything else is going wrong. But actually, our charge efficiency is pretty good right now. There you go. And that's how we turn on the gen. I don't really use it, though. Not that important. And then the servers have an issue now. And so if you really want to, if you're into like syncing yourself into the world of the game, you can go into the server room and check it on out. We can go diagnostics. And so it says it's returning an error. That means that we need to reboot all right there. And then once we've rebooted all, we should probably do a temp check too. It's at 48.6. So we need to go turbo, which will turn on the fans until the temperature gets better. And as you can see, it's already dropped by like multiple degrees. T-junction isn't till like 90 degrees Celsius anyways on a server like this. So it won't be anything that you've really got to worry about. Going back to help, I think we should be good. Yep, everything's looking solid, so the servers are ready to go. I already used the turbo command, bro. I already used it. There you go. I'll use it again just so you can be happy. Perfect. just so you can be happy. But yeah, if you ever notice that the temperature outside gets too high, this place is not formally cooled. And so anyways, if the temperature gets too high, the servers are going to start to overheat, so keep that in mind. You can also tell if something's going wrong with the servers by checking this panel right here. Instead of saying running, it'll say error, 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 error. So there you go. It's time for us to kick that signal to the curb. That signal is no longer good to us. We also have modules that we can upgrade over here. We can jump on into the upgrades and the modules menu. And as you can see right there, actually our coordinate module got some progress from that thing that we scanned. So that's pretty cool. We'll get a freebie if we can get enough of those. I think it's time for us to scan. Let's go find another signal. I always thought of the cool ending for this game is like the final coordinates that you get. The dish rotates, and then it points right at you, and then all of a sudden your character looks down at his hands, and he's got like elongated gray fingers. You're like, I was the alien all along. I don't know. That's what I would do. That's because I like goofy endings to my games. M. Night Shyamalan, twist. And we have a something right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that. Hello, little buddy. What are you? I am analyzing you. Would you like to be analyzed by the healing power of the Splatty? Oh, we got another signal. Oh my god. Usually it takes me a while to find a signal. Usually it takes a little bit. Alright, we're going to go downwards real fast because we're closer on that spectrum. We got to scan this thing on out real fast. And other than that, there's not a whole lot more to the gameplay. I mean, the gameplay is basically about solving these little puzzles over and over and over again. And you'll get signals that are decidedly more interesting than others. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we found our signal. Our readout, we're going to let that tick up for just a second. But so far, our azimuth, our minimum is 255. So we're going to take this down by 10 dog. I call it 10 dog because it looks like it says 10 dog on there. I know it says degrees, but it looks like dog to me. So I say 10 dog. I'll be like, I'm going to take it down by 10 dog. It's going to be all right. And then our elevation is actually probably okay. Oh, really? The minimum's 11. Okay. Start rotation. We'll go ahead and move that around. It wants me to transmit a message to the aliens, but I don't have any transmitters right now. So, like, use the terminal, check for a calibration error. If the calibration is higher than 10 or my... Oh, yeah, this is something I haven't really had to deal with in my personal playthrough. So we can go to the terminal right now. We can go to calibrate, or I think calibration. And none of these are off, actually, right now. They seem to be okay. Set azimuth to 0. Go to the upper platform of the antenna using the calibration panel. Set the azimuth and 0. Press calibrate to finish the... Yeah, I don't think that's going to be that important. I'll be honest with you. Our system efficiency is fine right now. There is no calibration error that's above or below 10. Like, all of these aren't even at 1.0, so I don't think we need to do that. Like, the offset right there and right there are a little tiny bit... Or, I'm sorry, right here and right here are a tiny bit high, but, like... I don't think it's, like, pertinent. Like, I don't think we need to do that, like, right this second. How are we doing on our rotation right now? We're at 310 out of 250. So, also, an effective way that I've noticed to do this is to watch your signal efficiency while you're rotating. So what I like to do is I like to put them on screen right there. You'll find the degrees. So 50% of the signal comes from the actual rotation of the dish. 50% of the signal comes from the elevation of the dish. And so while it's rotating, it'll actually spike up once you hit where the degree is at, which is another reason why I say you should always put it on the minimum over there. And so, like, let's say at like 270, we get a signal spike. It's okay to just hit stop and then, like, find that, you know, whisper it on out of the machine at 60% or whatever, and then find the proper elevation, and it'll be all right. Like, you could find one independent of the other without getting yourself in trouble. I mean, I would assume in real life that if it's not pinpoint perfect, you don't get the signal that you want because you're firing such a long distance. But in this game, you can actually work on the two vectors, like, separate of each other. Like, the rotation, you can get 50% of the rotation without having the elevation anywhere near where it needs to be, and then you can get the other 50% from the elevation without the rotation being, like, where it needs to be. But do the azimuth first. There it is right there. We got it. So it's going to be a little bit higher, like 268. Actually, no, it's going to be... Actually, yeah, it is. Okay, so we just got to tune. We just got to do some fine-tuning. Oh, it's adjusting the elevation right now. There we go. So we've got the rotation done. It's actually 268 on the dot. And then for our elevation, what's our elevation right now? So at 11, we're not doing that great. The maximum is 41. So then what I would do is I would take this up to 41 and just go like that. And then you just got to stare at the signal monitor until the signal goes up to like 100% and then just like stop it. It's taken me some trial and error to get this game down. Trust me, my first couple of signal hunts went very poorly until I came up with this method about an hour in. Oh, there it is right there. We've got our guy, and we actually locked onto that signal perfectly. It's only worth 354 megabytes, so we're probably not going to get paid that much. But what does it sound like? Oh, yeah. The signal is unavailable. Its source is unknown. It's a radio wave emission. Yikes. It's a little freaky, man. If I heard these musical noises coming from space, I'd probably freak out. But then again, I'm no astrophysicist. Like, I'm sure there are things that are musical in space, like the emissions of, like, planets and stars and, you know, random signals and things like that. But if I heard this as a rock jockey, I'd be like, oh my God, we done found aliens. Everybody run. I read a really, really good short story on working at SETI on Reddit one time where, like, basically, the point of the story was that this guy is doing the job that we're doing right now. He's digging through this signal that he found from space, and he's getting excited at the prospects that we found aliens. And we've been sending out these signals, and after kind of like a suspenseful buildup, it's only like 4 or 5 paragraphs. It was a short story. But after a suspenseful buildup, he translates the alien's first message to us in binary, and it says, shh, they'll hear you. And like that, I was like, ooh, it gave me shivers. But that like kind of plays into like the great filter and kind of the concern of like, how come we've never been contacted by another society? Given the vastness of the galaxy and the probability of our existence, we know mathematically that other cultures should exist in space. And if they started off 100,000 years before we did in their evolution, or 200,000 years, they should be flying around the stars right now. They've had a head start and they should be able to fly around. So, like, how come they haven't found us? And that's the whole idea of the great filter, is that, like, perhaps there's something that stops every advanced race from becoming spacefaring. Whether it's a disease, or whether the energy required in order to do intergalactic travel is so severe that it always depletes the atmosphere or destroys the environment, the home, environment that the aliens or we are from before they can complete the research. Or maybe there's another species out there that instantaneously hunts and extincts any other race that makes it into space other than them. The Great Filter is kind of an interesting thing, and frankly, we could talk about that for like 45 minutes to an hour easily, but it's an interesting thing to read about. If you really want to be scared down to your bones, read about the theory of the Great Filter, and as you read it, just kind of feel that blackness build up inside of you, just be like, oh my God, what if that is true? And trust me, I had like a weird crisis after I like researched not like a crisis, I guess, but just kind of like that's kind of dark, man. Like after I read about it. So on the scans, we're already done right there. We've got our second signal that we found. We didn't know where it came from. The data that we decoded is apparently JXJOD M236OX SDRP2Y1N. Doesn't seem that relevant to me, but maybe to you that means something. I don't know. Let's scan out another signal over here. New scan. So we'll start off with another one. Sometimes you just get anomalies and they just don't like do anything. It's just like a scary noise from space. Like some alien just being like, "Roar!" into a microphone. I don't know. Come on, little buddy. Come get found. Yeah, there's an anomaly right there. So that you can hear what those sound like. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. They sound super creepy. If I'm gonna be at my own station out here in the middle of nowhere, I want a gun. That's my little caveat, I guess. Apparently I wasn't targeted well enough. My satellites were doing poorly. Satellites, do your job better. Oh, we got a signal that time too. Good God, man. The signals are easy to come by today. The signals are super easy to come by today. Oh, that frequency was super easy. That was only like 100 megahertz off where we already were. All right, so we got readouts over here. The servers are still running. Charge efficiency, it's all right, but it's nighttime right now, so, you know, it's kind of hard to read charge efficiency very well. It looks like we have azimuths at around 88 for this signal. So we'll take this on over to 88, dog. 84, dog. Okay. And then, actually, the max is only 121. This won't be too bad. And then our elevation, it maxes out at 20, dog. All right. 20, dog. 15, dog. Okay. Rotate them dishes, baby. Get them moving. It's going to take, like, a while for this to get done. So anyways, I'm going to stop the episode right here. This is Signal Simulator. There's not a whole lot more to the game than what I've seen, like what I've shown you here, except that like storyline starts to come out. You start to find things in the stars, and some people will think that's really awesome and some people will think that's really creepy, but I think this game is very atmospheric. It is my pick of the week for right now. If you check my Twitter, I liked it a lot. I dumped more hours than expected into this game, like way more hours than expected. So anyways, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for stopping on in. If you liked the video, hit it with a like. Take care, and how you do, everybody.